All right, wow, this is quite the crowd. First time here, so thank you. Let me just get into this a little bit. So I'm currently working at Loblaw Digital, so we build and operate e-commerce businesses. So the one that I'm going to talk about is the grocery business. And we have other businesses like Joe Fresh and Shoppers as well. And what I want to get into is just just kind of paint a picture around some of the complexities around online grocery. So maybe just alluding to one of the slides earlier around Black Friday shopping. If I can just get a show of hands, how many people have gone online to buy something on Black Friday? Okay, so pretty much everyone. Okay, how many people have shopped online for groceries? Oh, quite a few. Okay, pretty good. Obviously not as much as traditional e-commerce. And what I want to do is just kind of paint a picture around what some of the differences are, right? So for myself, I know when I go online and do my shopping, it's generally less than 5 items, right? So I know what I'm getting, I'm going to buy it, and I know that I'm going to get 100% fill rate, right? So if I order that MacBook Air, I'm going to get that MacBook Air. I'm not going to get a MacBook Pro because they just happen to be out of it. For grocery, it's a little bit different, right? Because the customer is generally shopping for 30 items. So it makes that shopping experience very, very challenging. We need to make that very easy for the customer. But also, there's this concept of substitution. So you may be buying your Honeycrisp apple, but the pickers are going through the store just like everyone else. So at the end of the day, you might not have that apple that you chose. So there's this concept of substitutions that could be throwing a wrench in your dinner plans. So that's some of the complexities around that. And also, obviously, there are temperature zones that we need to take into account. You don't want your eggs to be frozen, and you don't want your ice cream to be melted. So what I'm going to do is just kind of paint a picture around how we're solving some of the problems that we're trying to solve from a customer standpoint. And I would say that one of the things that we're looking at is really putting the customer first. And this has been a bit of a transition for us because I think initially a lot of it was around, hey, we got to launch this feature, or we got to launch this new XYZ. And really now we're basing our decisions more around the customer, which is really, I think, really great, and it helps our business drive our business decisions as well. The next piece is from a customer standpoint. As you can see, everyone, all of us here, we don't have time. We're all really busy. So these are some of the things that we're looking to solve as well from a shopping experience. So how do we take the friction out of it? In our case, we've created this personalization through QuickShop, which uses data science to inform us in terms of how we surface those items, so that when you're building that 30-item basket, it makes it a little bit easier. Other ways to make this more convenient would be things like meal kits. So being able to open up a couple of items that are already pre-cooked, you just kind of heat it up, stir it up, and then it's ready to go. So the convenience factor is an important one for the team. The other part is making it really quick and getting whatever you ordered as soon as possible. So from this standpoint, we've launched to 700 stores by the end of this week. So we have 700 pickup locations between Go stations, actual stores itself. But we're also looking at reducing the time that it takes to get your order ready. So currently we're at 2 hours in terms of the buffer time. As soon as you order, you can pick it up within the 2 hours. And we're looking to continue to look at shortening those cycle times. So this is just a kind of an example of a couple of things that we've launched throughout the year. And I'll call out a few in particular, right? So we had the mass campaign that launched PC Express. We have the PC Express app that pulls together the 13 different grocery banners, which is a really big thing for us, making it easier for the customer to shop, and customers are really gravitating towards that. We have the GCP platform, which allows us to deploy code a lot faster to hit those customer needs as quickly as possible. And then the last piece is around a PC Express pickup location, which is actually built within a condo that we're testing. So really, all this to say is, the grocery industry is continuing to change. I think it's really exciting because there's a lot of, our own customer dynamics are changing, and we have so many more options to choose from, and also layering in the rapid change in technology that's emerging gives us more options to choose from. So that's what our team has been working on in the last little bit. Thanks.
So we're gonna just do some questions. So if you guys have any questions for Howard, please raise your hand. Thanks.
Just a quick one around the PC Express pickup locations. There's a lot of people obviously taking in big urban centers public transport. Have you thought of locating those near subways so when people get off this, they can order ahead of time, get off the subway, pick up their groceries, and go home?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we actually have a few GO station pickup locations currently. We also have a few at TTC subway stops, so such as Hyde Park and kind of more on the west end. So we continue, and also Finch Station near my house. So we continue, we continue to look for more and more locations where we can offer that convenience. Yeah.
Hi. So quick question. So your pickup locations, I'm assuming they have set hours. Do they?
Yeah, that's right. So there are set hours. So store hours are generally what govern the majority of our pickup location hours. And then also for the lockers, and we have Shoppers Drug Mart pickup locations, TTC as well. Those would have limited hours based on when we predict the customer is going to be there.
So my second question following that. So if somebody doesn't really have the time to, say, go to a specific pickup location, even though they said they have, is there an alternative to, do you utilize any other courier or anything type of delivery business that you're looking at to make sure the customer is receiving their groceries that same day? Right.
So so I guess there's two parts. One is in terms of if you by accident miss that pickup location, you can call the store and the store will have that ready for you the next day. And there are refrigerators and all that set up for you. From a delivery standpoint, we do have a partnership with Instacart. So we do for that we have as short as a 1 hour window in terms of from order placement to delivery to your home. So that's the shortest kind of window that we have.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm not sure. Are you guys going to develop an app? For instance, if we are shopping in the at the Loblaws, we can scan and can tally, and then ends up just to scan the barcode and check out.
Yeah. So is your question if we have that in store? Yeah.
No, I'm not. Currently, do you have such app available?
We do. Yeah. So we do. So we're kind of piloting in 8 stores. It's also a bit of a passion project of mine. So we have 8 stores that we're testing this in. Queen and Portland actually was the closest one. So if you open up the PC Express app and you have location services enabled, it will actually allow you to do the shop and scan approach. And then you scan barcodes. You can actually do weighted items as well. And then you scan the barcode at checkout to do the payment as well. Yep.
And then that can link to the bank account as well, right?
So yeah, so you can have a card on file that you've set up. You can also use you can also collect your PC Optimum points as well at that point.
Definitely saved my time.
So the grocery industry is notorious for being kind of legacy, right? People that have worked there forever. Digital transformation must have been very, very challenging to kind of go from how could you not want to go into a grocery store and pick your tomato to this whole concept of, buying on e-commerce. Can you tell us your biggest war story around that? How did you convince the organization that that was the right thing to do?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I would say 5 years back, there was a strategy plan that was put into place in terms of how big e-commerce could play in that world. And at that time, the idea was we had to create a separate team. So that's why, excuse me, that's why the Loblaw digital team is actually located downtown near Liberty Village, as opposed to at Brampton, right, in the headquarters. And so the deliberate intention was to have this separate team work away at building out the digital experiences. And we're now at the point where we're moving together and bringing things together. But yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so do you see resistance now, or do you see grace?
It's definitely now. I feel like it's kind of gone totally the other way around, where there's so much demand for it, and it's hard for us to keep up to all those requests, which is they're all great ideas, but we're trying to keep focused.
Yep. How do you feel this has affected your opportunity to upsell? So I walk into the store, I'm looking for 30 items, but I come out with 45.
Yeah, it's a great question. So right now, I would say, I think one of the things that our customers actually give us a lot of feedback on is that, because you're shopping online, you have more control over your basket and your budget. And I think we actually win from a trust factor. There are areas where we're surfacing, hey, maybe you're interested in these similar items. But I think we build that trust by being able to offer more predictable baskets, and we hope that you come back as a result of that.
Just a fun, I don't know if you have any fun facts, but I always find it really interesting to ask e-commerce folks, like, what's the craziest thing they're seeing, like, that's a difference between legacy shoppers and online shoppers. Do you have any crazy story around what you're seeing that may be an insightful fact that we can take away?
I think like one of the things is the basket size to me is like it's surprisingly a lot bigger. Like it's about 3 times bigger. Yeah, it's 3 times bigger than like the in-store shop. I think that's surprising. And then the other part that actually is surprising is deli, like the sliced deli behind the counter. We actually get a lot of traction around that too, so, which is yeah.
Well, thank you very much for speaking. And if you guys have any more questions for Howard, he will be around afterwards. So please make sure you save them for that. Thank you so much.